Hello and welcome back to Three Pints and a Clean Sheet. This is episode 98. A weekend without the Premier League, boys. How's it been?
Not too bad.
You both spoke over each other. Try again.
I'll let him go.
I said depressing.
I said not too bad.
A weekend without Queens. How's it been?
Brilliant.
Depressing.
No tears. No tears.
A weekend
Nah,
without having to watch Cyril Dessers miss an open goal, Robert. How's it been?
Not too. Getting withdrawal symptoms.
Anyway, we spoke about the Scotland squad last week. Scotland is the place to start. Second game is tonight against Portugal at Hampden, because we are uploading this on Tuesday this week. Have a fun wee treat for you all. But Saturday night, Croatia 2, Scotland 1.
Ouch. That's my go-to word at the minute. Ouch.
Oof.
Oof. I thought it was all right.
It started well.
It went all right.
The defendant was piss poor for the first Scotland goal. Let's be honest. How has he managed? I think it did the impossible for me. Like, he's managed to give it to the striker. Oh no, well, it wasn't the striker. It was Christie, wasn't it? But he's managed to give it to him like from an angle I didn't even think was possible.
It was just an absolute slice.
It really was.
I've never seen someone slice it and scoop the ball at the same time, but it was, that's what it looked like for me.
Yeah, I actually don't think the defending for the Croatia goals by Scotland's particularly good either. They both come from kind of very similar situations, and there's several chances that come from those situations. Like, you watch, they were quite happy to have Perisic and someone else, the right back, on the left-hand side kind of together and play the diagonal ball towards them from Gvardiol, because one, we know Gvardiol is amazing with the ball at his feet. But, like, Robertson is not, and I know it's because we have a tight, compact defence, but we gave them basically the whole of the channel from the edge of the box out. And with Perisic, you can't give him that space.
Well, he's 35. Modric is 39. Modric cruised past the teams at times.
Yes.
Honestly. Just shut down as soon as we scored.
We've done that before.
Yeah. I was talking about poor defending. I thought the poor marking for the second goal, particularly.
Good save for Gordon, but no follow-up.
I was going to say again, the player comes from wide, and we are trying to have a nice compact defence that's kind of in line with the edges of the box, and the player comes in and disrupts that and scores.
Yeah.
Kramaric awful.
Well, yes, to be fair, it scores the rebound, yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I thought you meant the goal. Sorry.
Could Grant Hanley have done better with that? Or do I just have an agenda with Grant Hanley? He just seems to stand there and pretends to try and get the ball.
He was just like
the agenda.
He was just lingering on the line, but I could see both sides. Could have tried to meet it.
Yeah.
But he didn't.
No, he didn't.
But it wasn't a bad performance compared to what we maybe expected.
No, I've seen some people say that this is like a argument for Clarke staying, that was, again, one of the bigger teams in European football, and it was a decent performance.
Runners-up in the last two... Not runners-up, sorry. Semi-finalists in the last two World Cups. So they're not too bad.
They're not too bad. I would also argue they're not very good either.
Also very much on the decline compared to what they were.
Yeah.
Yes.
But it's not the worst performances we've been over.
It's not, but it then again feeds into Greg's statistics of how many games is that Scotland have gone without a win, and he tells us every other week. So
15 or 16 now.
Take away Gibraltar, even more.
The winner. If you take away the friendly against Gibraltar, it'd be even more.
Yeah, that's if you do take away the friendly against Gibraltar, because I don't count it. Competitively, it's over a year now. That's all you need to know. Competitively, our last win was away in Cyprus.
And I hope I'm wrong, but I think Portugal will probably put up even more of a fight than Croatia will be wanting to. I think they'll be hungry for it. Ronaldo's getting his good pre-game training in, going down the flumes at that hotel they were staying at. I can't remember the name of it, but if you haven't seen the video on Twitter or X, as they call it,
I'm going to have to look that one up.
It's actually quite funny. You hear the guy going, "That's Ronaldo going down the flumes."
I thought he was going to be at the time capsule.
He looked like it. Cameron House, I think it was.
They're staying at Cameron House. Very swanky. Hope it doesn't go on fire when they're there.
And then they get to train in Paisley.
We are at Hampden. You never know what can happen at Hampden. but I don't see it happening.
Yeah, it does happen. It's Hampden. Scotland never win.
The point was made, though, right, that we're missing quite a lot of players, and if you put those players back in the team, especially the performance we had against Croatia, that we might be a bit better. I don't see it. I do not see it. I think we're just in a position where we kind of peaked for a wee bit, and we're now back in the doldrums for a wee bit, and it happens.
And probably pick up about the next qualifying campaign.
Fine.
Or the next manager, whoever comes first.
I think it'll pick up when it's too late.
Or that.
At the end of the day, we could take a very English attitude to the Nations League and go, it's just the Nations League.
We also are in potty, which is enough in itself.
Not for much longer.
It was still good to be there when England are in the championship, so to speak. We're in the Premier
Division.
Division.
And talking of England, sorry, Robert, did you want to jump in before England?
Ouch. No, I was going to summarise their performance.
Oh.
That's my word of the week.
Just a reminder, England 1, Greece 2.
At Wembley.
It's my favourite movie, Grease 2. So much better than the original.
That's just not true.
I mean, Greece one's goated.
No, you haven't seen them on the motorbikes. You don't know. Right. Anyway, that's maybe our different podcast, our movie podcast.
Coming soon.
Yes.
Obviously,
an emotionally charged night for Greece after the sad passing of George Baldock. These things happen. I don't think England could put it down to that, and nor do I think they should put it down to that. But you do see those kind of performances where a team comes out after an event like that, rallies together, and it's their first. They scored their first ever goal at Wembley. Never mind win at Wembley.
They're just really up for it.
Well, England were let off after 9 minutes. That was Cobble off the line, which was very, very, very close to being in.
And Pickford from a corner as well. Pickford missed one from a corner as well.
Yeah.
After
I believe that was Cobble cleared it from Pickford's mistake, and then I think that was the one that they'd scored from when it was offside, was it not? After 10 minutes.
Yes, that's it. Just a reminder, it's as if Jordan Pickford isn't that good.
We certainly showed at this break. He's not very capable.
Well, he only played the one game, to be fair.
I think he played both of them.
To be fair, he was...
No. The other game we should say was Finland 1, England 3. Dean Henderson started in goals for that.
I didn't realise Henderson was in goals for it. I mean, Pickford, he's having a bit of a down era at the minute, but
good.
He has been shit hot for England in the past, let's be honest.
He
both Euros runs were he was pretty good. He was probably one of the most consistent players.
Did he do much though? Don't know if it's...
Yeah. Built them up on penalties a few times.
I suppose.
Obviously not in the final.
I'll give you that one.
He nearly did in the final, actually. So better add.
Anyway, it should be, like said, the other thing that England did against Greece was obviously take a leaf out of the Craig Levein playbook and played 4-6-0.
I liked it. It was good. It worked.
Yes, it definitely worked. Also known as, how do we try and get all our best players on the pitch at once? The answer is, you can't.
Yeah.
I would agree, but Palmer is a striker, to be fair. Well, he can play as a striker.
No, he's not. He's not been playing there for Chelsea, though.
I think he would be just as good.
No, he wouldn't.
Well, that's your opinion.
He is best when he has someone in front of him to do, the running for his balls through.
Beg your pardon.
Ultimately, 4-6-0, just England need to learn from other nations that have done this in the past. Other really good international sides have just had to say, sorry guys, we can't all fit you in. Here's your time on the bench.
If they tried that with Palmer and they were getting none but abuse.
Yeah, but they could try that with Phil Foden, who hasn't really been playing for Man City this season, so therefore doesn't deserve a place in the starting lineup.
I think they've had a kind of mental block because the players just looked like they were too scared to put a challenge in at one point. I think that was actually from the first Greece goal, sorry. Just didn't look like they wanted to even challenge the ball.
I didn't go on, Kyle.
It was night and day from their Euros performance.
But that's the thing, right? England fans were talking about let's, unleash the shackles. Let's get all our good players on the pitch. Let's try and not be so defensive and see what happens. Well, what happened was you got beat by Greece.
Then they'll put back to your earlier point of Greece were up for it or whatever.
They were, but you're going to have
Shouldn't-
teams
Nah.
against England who are up for it. I don't
They-
think you can put that down. I think you can put it down to them just being piss poor and getting it tactically wrong.
Well, that's what I would say personally.
But also, we found out after the Finland game, Lee Carsley doesn't even want the job. He's quite happy going back to the under 21s. So he's probably, there is an argument to be said if he's went, okay, let's see what happens. I've got nothing to lose.
It's because he is how hard it is. It's the poison chalice, the media would call it.
Yeah,
Whatever it is. Hot seat.
it is. Poison chalice, I think, is a good way to describe it.
They only lost by 1 goal, and it should have been a lot more. I think it was 3 Greece disallowed goals.
Yeah.
And then countless chances as well.
Yeah,
Countless chances.
From my point of view, Greece won fair and square. Like, they deserved it. Then, to be honest, I'm glad they got the late winner because it's what they deserved.
The winner, sorry, not the winner, the first goal, there's about 5 of them literally standing there, as you said,
That's what I
Robert.
mean.
I think it was the second goal as well. The commentators said, it's really, really good defending. And I was watching there's 5 players rolling about in the flare, doing nothing. It's not that good defending.
The problem for me is, right, for all people talk about England having a stacked team and a good team, the only quality England have is going forward. Defensively, England have no quality at all. They've got mid-table Premier League players who aren't that good. If they were mid-table Liga or big mid-table Bundesliga players playing for France or Germany, the English media would be going, they're not very good. That's the weak link in the team. Look at, for example, the whole England defence, including the goalkeeper,
Trent.
who's playing left back.
I didn't realise it was right back. I thought it was playing right back.
Well, he played left back against Finland.
Kyle Walker was right back, wasn't he?
Yep, Kyle Walker, who we know this season is finished.
He's not
And
finished.
not
English.
that good anymore.
Who were 28?
Hey.
John Stones,
we
was he
know
not
he's
playing?
gone.
He was captain against Greece.
Again, John Stones was 30 odd.
Yeah, but he's class.
You can't say that
I
without
think-
a smile on your face, Kyle.
No,
He's
that's
also,
really good.
he's also moving into midfield for Man City and hasn't really been playing at centre half for Man City.
I feel a common theme that I have noticed is Bellingham having to try and bail them out. Obviously, it didn't work this time, but you've got all these stars who honestly think they're the top dogs, but Bellingham seems to be the only one that's kind of acting on his promise of producing for England. I don't know, maybe
The other thing being, you've got to go back they're not that good point, right? You could see a midfield for ages of Rice and Mainu, but they're far too similar. They both want to be box to box. And if you put Bellingham next to them, the other one will not hold.
Yeah.
They don't have a holding midfielder. Every holding option is actually box to box and doesn't sit. They don't have protection for a defence which is piss poor.
You don't really get a good holding midfielder these days.
But
Bar
other
maybe a
countries
Rodri.
have good holding midfielders.
Because they're disciplined.
But
Yeah.
that's kind of the point. The team isn't that good when you actually look into it. They played a guy who plays for Crystal Palace for most of the Euros.
He was quite good at the Euros.
Right? But is he actually that good?
Not this season. He confirmed it this year after his failed move to Newcastle.
Yeah, and I'm quite glad about that.
Guy's got the voodoo doll.
Didn't surprise me.
Honestly, I don't know what the solution for them is. It's quite funny. They're evidently going to go back up to Nations League A. They really don't care about the Nations League either, which is the other thing to say. They couldn't give a shit what happens until they lose to Greece, and then they actually care.
It's even less caring because it's just a friendly competition.
Well, that's the other thing. So to move us on a bit, there are questions about whether we should have as many international breaks so early in the season. Lots of England fans moaning, going, not another international break. The Nations League's pointless. There can't have been friendlies every time before that, to which people need to go, yeah, there was. There would have been 3 international breaks of friendlies this year and nothing else previously.
It does seem quite soon. It seems that every 2 weeks there's a bit of international break.
Well, the international breaks to go through them are September, October, November, March, and June.
It just
Yeah,
seems
because before the competitions usually.
it just seems to be a lot, but maybe as you say, it's just scheduled.
They've got to be stacked early in the season because December, January is when people have winter breaks, or in England, that's when all the busy games are. And then after that, you're kind of into the aftermath of, apart from the 1 week in March they managed to squeeze in, you've got all the fixture rescheduling for when people get further in cups than you think, and you can't really put another international break in.
No.
I was having a think about it earlier on, and I actually think it's been quite a quick season so far. So I think that makes it think for me, oh, it's quite early, but actually we're more games in than I actually thought we are.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, all different leagues will be different amount of games in, but really, in my head, it's been quite a quick season so far.
Premier
I
League's
mean,
what, 8-9 games in?
yeah, exactly. It feels like we're only just like previewing the start of it.
No. Yeah, is it? No, Premier League are only 7 games in.
Even still,
Scotland
point
not
remains.
10 or something at least.
Yeah.
That's all
9.
they got.
But I feel like it is early, but you've got to squeeze them in. And to be honest, I think the Nations League is better than playing those stupid friendlies that mean nothing.
The problem is that the England fans don't want anything. They want club football because ultimately they don't care that much if it's not a World Cup or Euros. For us, it matters. We care.
Yeah, because it's an extra chance at getting a major tournament, like
Yeah.
the 2020 Euros.
And the Nations League is working. Like, I think we can conclusively now say it is giving the weaker countries a chance. Like Georgia, if it wasn't for the Nations League, Georgia wouldn't have been one of the most exciting teams at the Euros in the summer because they finished 4th in their qualifying group.
True. So yeah, I agree with you on that one.
There were... Go on, Kyle.
As it works, but England doesn't affect them, so they don't care.
Yes. I did see some alternative proposals, mainly by Premier League fans. Someone suggesting to do a kind of a rugby thing where there is an extended break once or twice a season, i.e. 3 or 4 weeks rather than 1.
That maybe would be better. Gets all out the road.
To summarise that, that's kind of the rugby style is in November, there are 4 weeks of international games, and then again, kind of June time. That's what they do. There's also the Six Nations for rugby stuff, which is just a mess because club rugby continues throughout that. And we definitely don't want that on in football because that would just be horrendous in favour of the big teams.
Yes.
No, not a format I would enjoy, to be honest. It's too long away from the leagues.
That's the thing, you'd have to do it at the very end. Like the alternative proposal, which I was going to suggest, is that people said just put all the league and cup finals and then have international football in May and June. Like have 2 months of international football. The other problem is, as everyone keeps saying, we're playing too many games. We've got a Club World Cup that no one wants and no one asked for this summer.
Yeah.
And people are getting injured as a result of it now. People mock me for saying, oh, footballers play too many games. Look at the amount of injuries that are happening now.
The injuries are part and parcel of football as well.
They are, but if players were like, if we didn't have ridiculous fixture demands, you wouldn't have people saying, you wouldn't have Real Madrid come out and saying, we're going to let our players have a week's holiday at some point during the season.
It's an ongoing debate that I think will probably take a while to get to the bottom of, to be honest.
And ultimately, if your team is doing shit, international football is quite a nice break, unless you have to watch Scotland.
Big easier.
Can he win? Can he win?
A potential comeback. But, yeah, I don't know.
A wee shout out to Wales as well, actually. I didn't mention them in the first bit. Played really well for the first half against Iceland and then utterly collapsed on their arse in the second half. Playing Montenegro and it'll have happened by the time you watch this.
Johnson scored again.
Yes, if no one's seen that goal, it is ridiculous. He literally couldn't miss. He gets the ball pammed to him by the keeper, basically on the line.
Some ball over the top though.
Can only score what's in front of you.
Yeah, they look quite good under Craig Bellamy, who might actually be quite a good manager.
I want that clipped.
Anyway, moving on. One thing, we've had this in the works for a while, actually. Robert, it was your idea. Take it away.
I don't know. I was just trying to think of different things we could maybe discuss, to branch away from our usual Premier League review or Scottish Premier League review or review of some sort. I thought we would
International football review.
Yeah, international football review. Any review. I thought we could maybe talk about a different topic, and this one came into my head. I'm sorry if I've stole it from a podcast. I've never actually seen it in another one for a change, so this is my own idea. I was thinking who's been influential in football, and it made me think of Mount Rushmore over in the USA. So I thought I posed a question to the boys, and I said, who would you include if you had a Mount Rushmore of people in football? So we kind of left it quite vague in a sense where I just said 4 people who have been influential. So yeah, I mean, I've got 4 names. I hope you've all got 4 names we can kind of discuss. I don't mind going first.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Yeah,
batter on.
so I picked four. I mean, we have not discussed this beforehand, so we might have some of the same, but we can. I've got some points to back mine up, and if you've got the same, you can chip in and see if you agree. So first on my list was Sir Alex Ferguson.
Ooh.
So obviously my reasoning led Aberdeen to their most successful period in the club's history, with three Scottish Premier League Premier divisions, four Scottish Cups, UEFA Cup Winners' Cup, UEFA Super Cup, and the Scottish League Cup as well. Obviously, doing it up in Scotland, then going down to Manchester United turned them into an absolute powerhouse. Won 38 trophies at Man United, which included 13 Premier League titles, 5 FA Cups, and he also won 2 Champions Leagues.
Only
His
two.
forward-thinking approach allowed for continued success. And one of my things that made me think about it was any manager in the Premier League, I feel, gets compared to him, regardless of regardless of what they're doing. It's always, they've done that, but Alex Ferguson did this. And I feel like he changed the game in terms of management and made Man United one of the biggest teams in the world.
I would add to that. I look at the fall off since he left.
Yeah,
Yes,
exactly. That
also
was
that.
my other thought process as well.
Anymore, I don't have Sir Alex Ferguson, so I'll let you say your other three.
Yeah, yeah. My second is Johan Cruyff.
Nice.
So he's next to Alex Ferguson. Not in any order, I just picked four. Obviously, there's a lot. There's names I debated that I didn't include. I've just picked
He's
four that are
one.
influential.
He's like the big one that I almost did and didn't, and
That's
probably should have.
interesting.
I did.
I thought you might have. Right, so my reasoning was obviously revolutionised football, known for his technical and tactical genius. He created the total football philosophy. He had success as a player and a manager. He won the 3 consecutive Ballon d'Ors. Thought it was mental. And as a manager, he led Barcelona to 4 consecutive titles. He was successful at Ajax as well. I just thought the whole kind of total football approach was revolutionary in football. And look at how Holland were playing back then. You know what I mean? When you think of great players, he's always one of the ones who's in that list.
Yeah.
Kyle, was that the kind of same reasoning for you picking him?
Yeah, I just thought he was my first. He was the forerunner to his total football involvement. He was quite instrumental in all that, and it's still used nowadays. So it must be some influence he had. And then he did the Cruyff turn. That's a big move.
Yeah,
Some sort of skillage. So
I've seen Kyle try to do it, the Cruyff turn a few times.
that's whenever I've got a broken toe.
Maybe. Right.
Same reason pretty much as yourself. So.
Yep. Right. My third choice was Lionel Messi. Thought of as obviously one of the greatest players ever. Barca's all-time top scorer. He's won numerous trophies at Barcelona, including the League, the Cup, and the Champions League. He's won the Ballon d'Or 8 times. You know what I mean? This is the kind of point. The next one I'm coming on to is the kind of, I think he's one that's pushed him up there is obviously he led Argentina to the World Cup. A question I've put actually for you is, because I wasn't sure if you would agree, do you think that the winning the World Cup gives him the edge over Ronaldo? Obviously, the classic Ronaldo-Messi debate. I know Greg's not a big Ronaldo fan, but in terms of stats, you can't really argue too much.
I'm also not a fan of that debate in general, to be honest. I think it just reduces like everyone to their worst.
Yeah, right. We'll move on for that. But he's known for his individual brilliance, and that's why he's in my
yes,
top four.
he is absolutely in mine.
Yeah,
there is no doubt that he is in mine. He will go down as like he is in the conversation for the best of all time, and that is like an undeniable fact.
that's why he's the GOAT.
I also picked him as well, just for reference. Just his goals and his achievements and his World Cups and his 8 Ballon d'Ors. I thought it was 7, turns out it's 8. And one thing I did put was there's all these players labelled as the next Messi. So it shows, again, he's got some sort of influence in the younger generation who want to be the next greatest of all time.
Yeah, I think you can say that probably for the 3 that I've listed. Yeah, I mean, they were the best of their time and are still thought of. I know Messi's still obviously playing, but he's coming at the end of his career.
The other thing I'd say about Messi is Messi kind of, if you watch early Messi and now Messi, the change in how he's played to stay as good while getting older is ridiculous.
Yes.
You know, he's not the 17-year-old, 18-year-old kid dribbling through everyone that he once was. He's now just incredibly smart.
Just picks up goals, even though he isn't as fast as maybe.
I'd also say Messi's
he was.
time when he was sort of leaving Barcelona, so the 2020s, he was dragging this shite Barcelona team to finals in league titles and whatnot.
He has also cracked America,
Oh,
broke America, and that is massive.
Well, not many people can do that. Just Craig David.
Right,
Eels
my
couldn't.
last one. We're staying in South America. There was a few names that I could have picked, but I've went for Diego Maradona.
Ooh.
Legend of the game. He's obviously helped the sport grow. He's broke and set the world record for transfer fee twice. He won 11 major trophies. He was joint FIFA Player of the Century. Thought it was quite interesting. Obviously lit up Italian football at Napoli, and just for that goal against England, obviously the hand of God goal against England, which obviously is so thought of. I just thought, the style of play that he brought, obviously the kind of behind the scenes things maybe dampen it a bit, but I thought,
What about his managerial ability? Did that tarnish it a bit?
no, in terms of his footballing ability, I that's why I've included him. I thought you might have put something different, to be honest, but yeah, that's my four. So, Greg, do you want to go next? You obviously said you had
Well,
Messi.
Kyle's done two of his. You've done
Or
one
have
of
you?
mine, so let's do Kyle's other two.
Oh. Well, we'll start with we're talking about Messi, the man that brought him into the game, Pep Guardiola, or at least into the world every day.
Mm-hmm.
In the 2009 Barcelona side, that's when he won his first treble, first of two, only manager to ever do that, won two trebles. Second was Man City, of course. He was one of the forerunners of the modern day tiki-taka style of play as well, if I'm right, which is, again, used a lot these days. And every manager wants to be the next Guardiola, as Alex Ferguson was also. So yeah, that's kind of my thoughts on Pep Guardiola.
Yeah, like
Just one of the greatest of all time, if not the greatest. So,
Yeah, he
again,
has achieved a lot, so
up for debate.
No, it's a good valid points.
And then the last one is a goalkeeper, Manuel Neuer.
oh,
You might argue, but I would say he paved the way for the modern way of goalkeeping with the sort of sweeper keeper approach. So the first one to really do it for a few years, and keepers just play with their feet really, because it wasn't really heard of before the 2014 World Cup when he started becoming a bit silly with his goalkeeping. He's influenced many of the modern keepers, such as your Allisons and your Edersons and a few others. I can't name them all, but it's just he's influenced the goalkeeping ability. He's changed it for the better, bit more excitement.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's my other two on top of Cruyff and Messi.
cool. So
I'd
I
say,
just have
yeah,
Messi. Go on, Robert.
No, I was just going to say definitely influential. So, yeah, sorry, I was just giving Kel some prep.
Not the go. I really wanted to pick a goalkeeper. I really wanted to pick a goalkeeper. I couldn't justify any goalkeepers. So the way I went about this is I wanted like era defining players. So Messi, obviously, like the current era being the kind of, Messi or Ronaldo. I have a horse in that race. I'm picking Messi over Ronaldo. I don't want to give Ronaldo the satisfaction of having his face on a massive bit of rock. Just upsets me. I try to not be overly focused on the modern. So I'll go backwards, shall I, and say that before Messi, I picked David Beckham, which is a really odd thing to say. But
No, he was on my potential list, to be honest. I had a few names. I whittled mine down to 4, and Beckham was on mine to start with.
his work in basically building football in America is second to none. He's one of those names that's like, and yes, partly also to do with his work off the field, but he is, a name that is everyone knows. Like he's a household name. Even if folk who don't like football know who David Beckham is.
He's not the first superstar, like the first superstar.
Mm-hmm.
He is like the first kind of, it helps with the superstar that he had the pop star wife.
Yeah.
And, but he went to England, he moved to Real Madrid. He caused, he was fantastic in Real, like in the Madrid era as well. Go, Robert.
I'd like to add that Alex Ferguson brought him through. So
Alex Ferguson did bring him through, but I was dead certain that I wasn't going to do managers.
I was going for more of a just people in football, not just players. But I get what you're saying.
before that, and I'm shocked that no one else picked Pele. I'm utterly shocked that no one else picked Pele.
It was Pele or Maradona, and I picked Maradona.
Oh, Pele every single day. Every single day I'd pick Pele. Because as good as Maradona was, Maradona has a whole city in Naples that adores him, that know about him because he did that moving around the world. The amazing thing about Pele was that he turned up at World Cups and no one knew, no one really saw him
Yeah,
outside of Brazil.
I see your argument.
It is weird that 3 of the 4 people I've picked all played in America, but that partially kind of that household name worthiness is what I wanted. But the one before that, because I wanted kind of a pre-Pele era person. And for me, for the kind of inception of football as you know it, the kind of 20 years, 1930 to 19, I said 30 years, 1930 to 1960, it's, the name that stands out for me there is Puskás. So good there's an award named after him.
Yeah,
A man from a non-traditional football nation now, who was, ridiculous. Went to a Real Madrid team that was ridiculous, was capped for Spain madly, but also didn't win a World Cup. But I think I needed someone to capture that early era of football, and for me, there was only one candidate, and it was him.
I think what I took away from this was, when I was thinking over everything, was there's so many that you could have picked, really. Yeah. There's a load of players that probably haven't even named, but I thought that was an interesting debate.
Manager-wise, I was going to say, if you made me pick a manager, now I've heard the managers you two picked, and technically, Robert, you picked, I don't think of Cruyff as a manager. I think of Cruyff as a...
It was more for his playing, but
the
total football approach deserved a mention of both playing and managing.
If you were asking me to pick a manager, I probably would have picked Arrigo Sacchi as the complete wildcard choice. The man who'd done away with defensive Italian football, the man who started overlapping fullbacks, the man who started the high press. His principles still live on with pretty much everyone today. You can see that in even bits of, Klopp and others.
Yeah, never heard of him, but he sounds like a pretty swell bloke.
I'm not too good off on his work either, but I think I've heard the name.
But talking of people that we don't know, it's time for the transfer game.
Yes, so I'm back on the game this week, and it is return of the transfer game. Just get into it, but if you haven't watched this before, I'll give the boys 5 clues. For 5 points, it's the year and the fee. For 4 points, it's the position. For 3 points, it's the nationality. For 2 points, it's the team they left. And for 1 point, it's the team they joined. There is a connection this week, which is worth 2 points. They can have one guess at it each, but once they have guessed, they cannot have another guess at it. So, let's get started, shall we? 2012, £12 million.
Scott Sinclair.
Negative.
Say again.
2012, £12 million. Not pounds, sorry. What LB is euros. It's so apologies, transfer market. Euros, sorry. 12 million.
God knows.
Transfer mark tokens.
Joseph Barton.
No, 12 million. 2012, 12 million for a midfielder.
Wow.
Oh,
this is the game.
Jordan Henderson.
Nope.
Oh, that's a nice shout. I like that shout.
Thanks.
Sebastian Larsson.
Nope. 2012, 12 million for a midfielder from Italy.
Oh no.
Oh, Mahid.
No, I think I'm firing blanks.
I'm also firing blanks. It's really annoying me.
I'm passing.
Yeah, I'm also passing.
2012, 12 million for a midfielder from Italy. Left, I might butcher this. Pescara?
Oh, Marco Verratti.
Yeah.
Cool.
2 points for Kyle.
Well done, Kyle.
Right. 2005, 27 million.
Oh, that's expensive. Is there a connection this week? I meant to ask that.
Just said that, yes.
There is.
Yes.
27 million, 2005.
Sergio Ramos.
5 points.
Bloody hell.
think we've got an
Right.
inkling. Oh,
Yeah.
great.
I was going to say I've also got an inkling, but they're currently both very similar. So like they both could be similar things. So I'm going to leave it.
I'm also just gonna leave it because
I'm between two. I'm between two.
I'm not.
Right. 2016, 5.9 million.
2016, no.
Yep.
Bojam.
No, good guess though.
Jorginho Wijnaldum.
No. 2016, 5.9 million for a defender.
Hakimi.
No.
I think we're going down similar lines, Kyle.
Yeah, I think so.
Danny Alves.
No. 2016, 5.9 million for a defender from USA.
Serginho Dest.
Nope.
No.
DeAndre Yedlin?
3 points.
That's not what I'm thinking. My connection's at the water then.
Have they all played with Lionel Messi?
Correct, that's another 2 points for Greg.
They've all played for PSG or they've all played with Lionel Messi.
It's PSG hard. And I get Messi. Damn, that's really snookered my lead.
Is that 7-5 now?
Yes.
Oh, shit.
I forgot DeAndre Yedlin even played for Inter Miami. I just thought it was definitely not the other one I had.
2001, 13.5 million.
Just being that early Barcelona side then.
Ronaldinho.
Nope.
Had him last week, actually.
Pep Guardiola.
Nah, 2001, 13.5 million for defender.
Oh, what's his face?
But
Van Bronckhorst.
Yeah, 4.
Nice.
I don't know if it was. You got to say that Belletti or used to be a right back. I think it was Belletti.
Yeah, Belletti. I was also wondering if Gabriel Milito was around then.
Right, and last one. 2009, 12 million.
Henrik Larsson.
No.
2009. Samuel Eto'o.
No. 2009, 12 million for defender.
Gabriel Milito.
Rafael Marquez.
Neither. 2009, 12 million for defender from Belgium.
Thomas from Malin.
Yep, 3 points.
Which makes it 10-8, I think.
Yeah, I've got 11-8.
11-8. No, I think I did. I've not been
So
right
Kyle wins. Do you want me to do the tiebreaker for fun?
Yeah.
Why no?
2013, 88 million.
Neymar.
Yeah, that was my tiebreaker one.
I will say,
Well done,
to adapt a quote from Gary Lineker, the transfer game is a simple game. Two people try and guess players, and at the end, Kyle always wins.
I beat him on the categories, didn't I?
He does.
So there's your hint. If you want to beat me, play categories.
Good to know, because I'm making the game for next week.
We'll just do it anyway. So,
well, yeah,
buckle
there
in.
You go.
Yeah, and on that note, there's no FPL update this week because there's been no Premier League to get, in my case, no points from. We will see you next week. Robert's not going to be here, but we will have a replacement in the form of a very special guest. And that leaves me to just say sayonara.
Bye.
Godspeed.